Hello and welcome to the virtual walkthrough of Exposition d'Art Miniature. This is Kate Carvellas speaking, and this is the 1/12 scale mid-19th century French farmhouse I built from scratch. The show consists of 84 pieces of art created by 64 different artists. Here are just a few details about the house. The structure of the house is mainly cardboard, foam core, and balsa wood. The outside of the house is covered in plaster gauze. The roof of the house is covered in coconut basket liner. Now we're about to pan around to the back of the house, where you will get a shot of the entire interior, where you can see all of the artwork installed. Next, we're going to pan around to the other side of the house, and now we're ready to start the miniature walkthrough. We'll be beginning in the sculpture garden with two bronze sculptures by Laura Larson. This first one is titled Hummingbird Mourner, and the second sculpture is titled Frog Mourner. The next sculpture is by Nancy Yodelman. It is mixed media and it is titled Precious. This sculpture is called Steel Dandelion, and it is by Ben McGinty. Our next sculpture is by Dory Atlantis, and it is called Tilt. Our last sculpture outside was created by Ben Zask, and it is untitled. And now we're going to enter the house to take a look at the artwork inside. Each room is going to start with a pan of the entire room before we look at each artwork individually. This three-dimensional collage is by Scott Wolf, titled The Arboreal Towers. This piece of fabric art is by Cindy Rhine, titled Spiral. This oil painting is by David Tanner, titled Miniature Abstraction. This piece is an inkjet print of an original painting on canvas by Janet Milholm. It is titled After the Storm. Piece is by Joanne Julian. It is acrylic paint on paper, and it is titled Scroll. This mixed media piece is by Peggy Jo Sievert, and it is titled Reach. This acrylic painting is by Peter Hess, and it is titled Block. This next piece is a reproduction of a full-scale piece of fiber art by Maria Bjorkdahl, entitled Echoes 9. And now we are moving on to the second room on the first floor. The first piece of art we're going to look at is a sculpture. It is titled Twisted, and it is by me, Kate Carvellas. This piece, titled Purse, is by Lee Salgado. It is mixed media featuring hand-cut paper. This piece is by A. Laura Brody. It is fiber art, and it is titled Joy. This is an acrylic painting by Christine Augustin, entitled Ode to Joy. This collage is by Terry Holtzman, titled Dear Theo. This is a mixed media piece by Suki Moon Pai, titled Big Love. Now we're on to the third room on the first floor. This piece is by Debbie Swanson Patrick. It is a digital still life entitled Mariposa Nest. This piece is titled Self-Portrait by Cami Jones. It is a pencil and pen drawing on cardboard. This mixed media piece is titled Magic Carpet, and it is by John Hogan. This watercolor painting is by Catherine Pitt. entitled Balance. This painting is by Jan Book. It is acrylic and it is titled Miniature Painting F. This mixed media painting is by Edwin Vasquez, titled Target 2. This lenticular artwork is by Heather Lowe, entitled Lemon Sun. This is a reproduction of a full-scale work by Maria Bjorkdahl. It is titled Echoes 8. Jody Benassi created this mixed media piece. It is titled Goldfinch. And now we're going to move on to the fourth and last room of the first floor. This digital photograph is by Diane Cockerell, titled Isolated. This piece is by Karen Ruth Carlson. It is a colorgraphic monotype print titled Quando Mini, a reproduction of a large-scale work. The next two pieces are gouache paintings by Susan Joseph, titled Morning Glory 2 and Morning Glory 4. This acrylic painting is by Jan Book and is titled Miniature Painting C. This painting is by Richard Bruland and it is called Slant. This oil painting, titled A Small Life, is by Sudrak Kongpang. This piece is by Gay Summer Sado Rick. It is an oil painting and it is titled Confetti. And now we move up to the first room of the second floor. And the first piece we're going to look at is a sculpture called Springing by Tracy Weiss. This mixed media piece is by Martha Aponte. It is called Untitled Number 1. This piece is made of acrylic paint and it is by Leah Shane Dixon, titled Fathom. Stevie Love created this mixed media piece, titled Paint Thing. Next up is an acrylic painting titled Autumn Sun by Suzanne Gibson. This is the first of several porcelain vases we will see from artist Heather Campbell Morrow. This one is titled Saladon Longneck Vase. This is an acrylic painting titled Flowers 93 by Todd Westover. This painting was created by Faina Kampman using acrylic and gouache paint titled The Spring. This piece is an oil painting by Robin Alatorre titled Fear and Loathing in the French Countryside. B.B. Davidson created this acrylic painting titled Twin Bunnies. And finishing out this room, we have an assemblage by Dwara Fried titled Minibox. And now we're moving on to our second location on the second floor. First up, we have Breathe the Air by Glenn Wagner, a color print reproduction of a full-scale oil painting. This digital collage is by Sarah Stone and is titled Serpenternity. This is a color pencil drawing by Margot Bloom entitled Lily of the Valley. This piece, titled Wear a Mask, is an assemblage by Dave Lovejoy. This is the third and final room on the second floor of our virtual walkthrough, and then we will head up to the third floor. This piece is called Emergence. It is a sculpture, and it is by me, Kate Carvellas. This untitled mixed media painting is by Nurit Avasar. This piece by Karen Ruth Carlson is titled Capella Palatina. It is encaustic and a reproduction of a full-scale piece. This mixed media piece is titled Home, and it is by B.B. Davidson. Allison Souza created this oil painting titled New Old Stock. Sharon Sahavi created this three-dimensional piece using acrylic paint. It is titled Teal Roses. Heather Campbell Morrow created this porcelain piece of pottery titled Aurora Blue Vase. This acrylic painting titled Cachet is by Richard Bruland. This piece is by Heather Campbell-Morrow. It is porcelain pottery, titled Blue Cylinder Vase. This is a mixed media piece by Leah Connect. It is a reproduction of a full-scale piece titled Seeking Shelter. This acrylic painting is by Tamara Porter Tolkien. It is titled You're Driving Me Crazy. This mixed media piece is by Adiola Davies Ayaloha. It is titled She Protector. And now we're moving up to the first room of the third floor. This piece is a digital reprint of a full-scale piece by Karen Hotchman Brown, titled Brisk Morning in Patagonia. Stephanie Sidney created this piece. It is an archival pigment print entitled Science Abstraction. This piece is called Balance and Strength. It is fiber art by Cindy Rhine. This piece, titled Love Bound, is by Lee Salgado. It is a mixed media piece featuring hand-cut paper. This is an oil painting by Gay Summer Sado Rick, titled Red Sky at Night. This sculpture is by Dory Atlantis, and it is called Capriccio. Next up, we have 4 porcelain vases by Heather Campbell-Morrow. The first one is the orange vase. Second one, squat Aurora pot. The third one is Aurora blue lidded jar. And the last one is red bowl. And the final piece in this room is a bowl made by Dave Lovejoy from an acorn cap, and it is titled Golden Bowl. And now we move to the second room on the third floor and the final room in our virtual walkthrough. Our first piece is titled Yupo Landscape by Nancy K. Turner. The medium is ink on Yupa paper. This is a color print reproduction of an original full-scale painting by Winnie Brewer. It is titled Eastland Series 1. This mixed media piece by Pascaline Daukandalka is titled Mini Mini Palm Sheath in an Oval. This piece is by Terry Lloyd. It is a color print of an original full-scale acrylic painting. It is titled Romp. This piece by L. Aviva Diamond is titled Blackbird Singing in the Dead of Night. It is part of a series of prints created using archival pigment on Canson fiber rag. This mixed media piece is by Melissa Reichman. It is titled Holding My Breath. This piece is also by Melissa. It is charcoal on paper and is titled Premonition. Kira Volman created this mixed media piece titled If Only. Our final piece in this miniature virtual walkthrough is by Joy Ray. It is a textile painting titled Dark Moon. And that's it. That's the end of our virtual walkthrough of Exposition d'Art Miniature. I hope you enjoyed it, and a huge thank you to all of the artists who participated in this unusual exhibition. Stay safe and healthy, everybody.